First of all, Mr. Hanguk Park, who is the president of KOSMO, will talk about the promotional strategy and action plan for innovation of smart manufacturing in Korea. I'm very happy to see you all. I believe that it is about 8 a.m. in the morning in Germany, and I'm sure that you are up very early today to participate in this forum. So thank you very much for being with us. From June 30 to, May 30 to June 4th, the Hamas Mass will be hosted in Germany, as far as I know. And our staff members, as well as the experts of this industry, would look for the opportunities to participate in that event. The topic that I want to talk about is the implementation of smart manufacturing innovation. And then we will close this project really soon, and then we will move on to the next national project as we take us one step forward. In 2014, we started this project, and then we went through this project in 2018 and 19 and etc. And this is the vision of that project, as you can see here. Our goal was to improve the life of Korean people with smart manufacturing innovation. So about 30,000 smart factories and SMEs have participated in this project in some ways to improve their competitiveness. And then actually this is an opportunity to encourage such 30,000 SMEs to make them smart factories. And then until last year, we have reached 25,039 in terms of the number of smart factories from 2014 to 2021. And then the minister who was in charge of this said last year that we shouldn't focus only on the numbers, but we must focus on the quality itself. So actually, rather than focusing on the number, we started to find measures to actually give right support and good help to the SMEs and companies. And in this way, we are supporting these companies to become smarter. And we are also supporting the SMEs to become really smart companies and smart factories. So as I said, that the result of a performance survey of 7,903 manufacturing companies built smart factories between 2014 and 2018. So 7,903 manufacturing companies built their smart factories, and we compared before and after. And you can see that productivity was increased by 28.5%, quality up by 42.5%, and then the employment rate was up by average 2.6 employees. So you can see economic values from the slide. And also at the same time, as I said, our goal was to improve the life of people. And if the productivity is up by 28.5%, we believe that we should have better performance. As you can see, so you can see that we have many different vendors to complete one product. And then most of the SMEs who are involved in this project are in tier 2 or tier 3. So even though their productivity level goes up, for example, if one company used to manufacture 1,000, but if their productivity is up, so if they can manufacture 1,300, that means they need to have the right buyers to actually buy these products. So that is why we kind of newly categorize these participating companies. So we built the level 3 smart factories by company for 3 years. So we will vitalize this project continuously, and from next year, we will fully launch this new measure. So we are going to categorize these companies all together in a group, and so that we can support building and utilizing a shared platform after building a level 4 and maybe up to level 5. So we will focus and we will concentrate our efforts to support these groups. So in that case, if one company's productivity goes up, they will have more buyers so that they can actually make more sales. So that is the way in which we are making efforts. And in order to promote this kind of project, what do we need? So until now, when we were focusing on the smart factories, we usually focus on the solution and computing technologies, which were mostly built and operated inside the company, for example. So they had to hire IT personnel who could be in charge of that, and they needed a lot of electricity to use, and they had to renew and update the hardware every 5 years, for example. And for the sake of security, they had to invest in the security solution very much. Otherwise, they could not maintain this. So the cost was an issue, and in order to solve this, from last year, we changed to cloud-based computing solution. So it is called the Korea AI Manufacturing Platform. It is the KAMP that we built last year. And if the manufacturers want, then we select the cloud service company, and then we added like ERP or PLM or SCM on top of the cloud and operate it, so that these participating companies can pay only up to their use, like a subscription economy. So that's the support that we are providing to these SMEs. That means from the perspective of SMEs, they could use the gateway server and they could collect and store data from it. And then the data will be uploaded on the cloud computing. And in the cloud computing, ERP or PLM or SCM or big data based AI or VR or AR. And these kind of solutions will be applied to bring economic values in these companies. So in this cloud computing environment, and in order to operate ERP, PLM, or SCM, the most important thing is not to have as much customization as possible. So we should have less customization. So for example, if we apply a solution to another institution, then that means the cost will go up and economic value or the way of work are not changed from the past form. So we need a global standard and global platform and global solution. And if we don't make such a change, then during the fourth industrial revolution era, our manufacturing companies will find it very hard to make the lead. For example, if we have ERP and if MDS will be applied later, then we need to pay the ERP solution companies to actually connect it, and then it will request a lot of time and cost and etc. That means we will be able to exchange less data. That means we will not be fully use this. So that can be an issue. And then if we go to the global market, and if we just sell physical products, then it could be possible, but it is not like that anymore. So we will make data as products. Just like crude oil, So in the future era where the data will be considered as capital, this kind of solution is necessary. So we started to promote from last year, and then this year we need to make more efforts to select the cloud service providers, and then on the path supported by these companies, we need to build a socket, big data, ERP, PLM, and MDS, and etc., so that they can be all played on that platform. And then when we have the AI solution, then we will be able to play this very easily here. So we need AAS-based interface and AAS-based standard so that interoperability will be secured in this industry. So that is the big goal of the Korean government. So we will make this as one big software package so that SKT or KT or Naver or some global cloud service companies like Amazon or Google, we will be able to provide this one package so that they can use it very smoothly. So as you can see here, it's less customized and it is more standardized. And in order to do that, we have 6 categories, as you may well know. And then we increased to 14 last year. And then we have 25 industry types, as you can see here, like ERP, SEM, PLM, MES, and AI solution, big data solution, and etc. But we need to have one single package. And if we adopt and operate in this way, then our manufacturing companies will be able to have global competitiveness in the future. And then after verifying such a standard in Korea, we can also sell this kind of standard to global market. That means the softwares that we have can comply with the global standard. So if we don't develop standard-based solutions, and rather if we have the customized solution, then we will not be able to sell in the global market. So what is necessary? So ERP system, PLM system, SCM, and recently many startups have developed AI solutions, and all of these will need to comply with the global standard in terms of the architecture and function. So the government will make utmost effort to support this area and industry and players. So if we don't change the way we work, then we will just we will live without productivity. We will just take everything for granted and do not make any efforts. Let's say if we give promotion to a person after 2 or 4 years, and if we just change the organization and etc. And in order to give some motivation, then we are trying to find many different ways. So we started with the ERP in this project, and then automation and smart innovation and etc. And we have gone through all these exchanges. And during that process, Korea's SMEs grow themselves and startups become SMEs and etc. And we want them to become the global hidden champions of the future. So all these different countries have different background. So, for example, for a single company, we can find, let's say if this is a pressing company, then we can make the most appropriate ERP solution or other kinds of solutions and etc. But if they all join together with a different background and make an alliance, then they can select the cloud service provider, and then based on that, they can also collaborate together. Then they don't need to pay the initial cost. Rather, they just pay whatever they use per month, for example. Then we can expect economic value, and the way employees, like workers, work will also change in the future. And if they change, then their achievement or the level of satisfaction and productivity and the safety and the completeness of the products will all go up. And not only the products, but also the data will be sold as products in the future. In order to do so, many companies have to make changes, but they are not willing to change yet. But like 70% of the manufacturing companies by 2025 will need to change, make changes, and they will migrate from the on-premise. So that means like even in like developed countries, many leading companies have already made changes. And what I mean by this is that many companies are already making changes to actually use this cloud-based platform. So if they use as an on-premise, for example, the cost would go up from, for example, 600 billion Korean won to 1 trillion Korean won. So you might be worried about the security or the leakage of data, like openness of data or the economic value. So that is why many manufacturing companies are reluctant to change to the cloud-based service, even though they want it. But what is more important is that we know that there is a necessity, but maybe the insufficient technology is kind of hindering them from making a change. It's because in order to make one package, we need to trust each other and communicate with each other. And when we have the profits, we need to have this platform to have candid communication, but we don't have it yet. So maybe that is why these companies are kind of reluctant to make changes. But about 50 companies are now making a lot of efforts to change to SaaS. So, and they're making a lot of changes actually. So as I said, our goal was to reach like 30,000 ERP from year 2001 to 2003. And the ERP system was about 300 million Korean won. But can you actually adopt it easily? It was not easy. So the companies with packages could not join the government-led project. But some others joined this project in order to deal with this kind of accounting by buying this ERP system. And then they put this on to make sound balance sheet and etc. So at the beginning, when we did this, we had to draw this ERP framework, but people just adopted whatever they could to make a good balance sheet inside their company. So it was not done well. So that is why the interfaces of the modules are not interoperable, but the speed is not good. So these problems are occurring. Internal Revenue Service is an organization of the US. And then for the soundness, the financial soundness, or in the ERP, they had to have this algorithm and this system and etc. So that is the global standard. But SMEs just developed in a customized way. So they were not well developed. So that is why they could not be sold in the global market because of these customized structure. So if you want to use the cloud service, then you need to have a global standard-based ERP, like PLM, SCM, and MDS system, and then you will have virtual computer room, and inside it, then you will need the ERP solution system for the fiscal and financial data of the company, and then MNES system will be established. And then for the R&D, PLM solution, and SCM solution for the customer management and etc. will all be established. And then in this way, you will be able to have even stronger and more secure system compared to the past ones. Like the digital cluster, as I mentioned, you can also exchange data between the suppliers as well. Then in this way, you will be able to create a whole new value and maybe some other values as well. So this is one of possibility as well. So as of now, you are the ones who are in charge of the maintenance and repair, but the suppliers will be able to monitor the data, and then they will be able to monitor the quality of the data, and then make additional services to make improvement, or maybe change the compartments and etc. So auto maintenance will be done in the future. And another important aspect is that in addition to selling the hardware product, you will be able to administration and sharing based data sharing system. In this way, you can store the credible data, then you can also make product out of credible data, and you can also sell it. So you can apply the data to your own product. So you can realize these four business models. So when we conducted the survey, we came to know that the hardware on-premise was about 17%, but if we change it to the cloud service, then it will decrease to 14%, and software will decrease from 20 to 17%. So compared to your computer system, if you use SaaS, the total cost ownership will be minus 8.1. So we can achieve 8.1% of economic effect in terms of total cost of ownership. So we are especially collaborating with Germany. In 2020, we signed the MOU with LNI 4.0 for cooperation to fast-track the digital transformation of the industry by building the test bed. So we are now testing the asset administration shell, the AAS and OPC UA testing and implementation collaboration. And then there is an organization in charge of the standardization, both in Korea and in Germany. And then KOSMO and LNI 4.0 are now collaborating on test beds. Google, Microsoft, Amazon are kind of dominating this technology in the world. And then in order to improve interoperability among different players, we need to make some rules, right? So that is the Gaia X, and Germany is now leading the way. So last year in November, we had this meeting together with the Gaia X European Association for Data and Cloud AISBL, and Korea became a regional hub of this region. So we are now collaborating together. So we are now collaborating with the LNI 4.0, as I said. And then we are now making this AAS-based data acquisition system. So we are getting the HK2 data and time 3, and then we are now storing in the cloud, and then we are now developing this software, and we are providing as open source to the participating companies at free of charge from last year, and we want to further vitalize this project. And then, yes, last year that we move on to tier 2, like phase 2. So in this way, we will be able to manage all those things in the life cycle. So we are now testing this on our test bed. That means AAS-based business paradigm will be changed, as you can see here. For example, if we manufacture one car, then the AAS-based design will be completed. Then other parts like the axis or the surface design and etc., or other detailed concepts will be designed and simulated based on this AAS. And then those smaller partner companies will be able to do their job, like detail simulation and bolts and nuts assembly and etc. So all of this will be manufactured and simulated based on the AAS. So the perfect simulation will be done on the AAS, and if we perfectly complete it, then we will be able to move on to the manufacturing. And if we sell this hardware product, then the AAS digital twin will also be able to sold in the future. So that's going to be the essential business model in the future. So security interoperability among CSPs is really important. So as I said, the Gaia X has been developed. Now it's under development. So in this way, we'll be able to migrate, and then the KT or LHN or LGCNS or LSKT cloud service providers will be able to interoperate together in this new system. And lastly, as we are collaborating with Germany, so there is a platform called Germany Industry 4.0, as you can see here. So with Germany at the center, France, China, Japan, India, and Korea are now joining hands together as we joined last year. So we are now making this AAS center-based smart manufacturing transformation. I'm sure that we will move on to the win-win structure for all of us in the future. So thank you very much for your attention for the past 30 minutes. And I sincerely hope that Germany and Korea will know that the manufacturing, which account for 28 and 23% of the total GDP in Germany and in Korea, will be better valued. And we hope that we will be able to further strengthen cooperation between our two countries for this industry. I will see you all, my German colleague in Hanover, on May 30. Thank you.